research out of Thales showing that remote access software and service abuse is the most common pre-ransomware indicator. They were examining tactics used by cybercriminals to get enterprise level admin access to domains before deploying ransomware, which they said is showing that being able to rapidly respond within 1 or 2 days can prevent almost a third of ransomware execution. So this is misuse of legitimate remote services like RDP, PSExec, PowerShell, and remote access software, including some of those that we see in our most common trends. Then using credential dumping techniques, we're seeing an increase in the frequency of use of info stealers right now as well, which is also going to be hunting after those credentials and sensitive data. Then the use of network discovery tools, and looking for multi-factor or using multi-factor as a preventative method, watching for EDR and MDR alerts, keeping an eye on CISA alerts for active campaigns, and making use of strong security restrictions within the organization are all some of the best ways to help reduce your risk here. So, we often give the advice, if you've got to use a remote access or remote desktop tool, pick one and standardize on it so that you know if something else is being used in the environment. Any other top level tips for helping to mitigate the risk of remote access tools being abused? I mean, going back to Scattered Spider, we've seen them using social engineering to talk users into setting up some of these tools in the past. Certainly not unique to that campaign, but they've made have a use of it. So, any tips that we can share?
Yeah, you mentioned quick response mitigated almost a third of these incidents. In order to have quick response, you need to be alerted quickly. And in order to have an alert quickly, you need to have good visibility.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one of the biggest things alongside the standard, like lock down whatever tools you're using, make sure that everything is scoped properly. Um, we need to treat anything that you can, like, I mean, you're accessing this potentially across the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make sure that I mean, if you're not just going to use one and you're going to use multiples, know what it is that you're using. Make sure you have policies and procedures that are documenting the proper use, and determine whether or not, like, for instance, if you're an organization using, like, I don't know, AnyDesk or ConnectWise Control or something like that, Screen Connect, does it need to be deployed everywhere? You probably just remote into one machine and then use that machine to pivot to the rest of your machines. Um, so those are just a couple of the things that I don't want to, like, repeat a lot of what's probably already been said, but those were the first things that came to mind, at least.
And a lot of these attacks that I've seen in the news occur when someone compromises an admin account that has the privileges needed to, run administrative tasks on the network. So we're seeing more and more guidance come out about privileged access management amongst administrative accounts. So, of course, you want your admins to be able to just do everything, but maybe put MFA in front of a normal task that could really be detrimental if the wrong person got access to it. So, just locking down even your administrators within the remote access tools is a big quick win that you can do.
I like that you called out the need for visibility there, Justin. The principle of Cobra Kai: if you can't see, you can't fight. Right? It's always going to be the
Yeah.
first step is making sure that you get that visibility.
Yeah, you
Um,
don't know what you don't know.
exactly. We want to minimize the number of unknown unknowns. Try and figure out those known unknowns. Um, and so does it make sense to, kind of auto block access from consumer remote access tools so that users that may not have malicious intent, may not be bad actors, but still are being non-compliant with the policy to not use these tools. And for teams that don't necessarily have budget for a commercial or enterprise level remote access solution, what are some things that they can do as an alternative?
I think from a
Um,
preventative standpoint, one big thing you can do is application allow listing. Um, at at some level, and it may not be, you may be allowing a lot of apps so that your org can function, but you definitely can deny, these types of apps as a class, right? So that might be something to look into. And then, I mean, the old wisdom of standard users, not admins on devices, right? You follow that thread as far as you can go.